They say the third time is a charm. And so it's my third time working on this video. It's just life as a mom entrepreneur. But hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Maisha T. And tonight I am here to share 6 tips for being a great mental health advocate. These tips are tips for beginners. I was a beginner once. I am still learning. You never stop learning when you're in advocacy work. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. My name is Aisha, of course. I'm a mother raising 3 beautiful children with different abilities. 2 of my children have autism, well, high functioning autism, and my son has anxiety and a mood disorder. I myself have cyclothymia and anxiety. That is my condition. That is not who I am. So basically, I have mood swings, rapid mood swings. They can be high, they can be low. When I'm at my highest, I am super productive. When I'm at my lowest, I'm unmotivated. And then my anxiety is getting better. I'm actually been working on that with therapy and with my medical practitioner. So I used to take anxiety medication, but with the work of my therapist and my doctor, I no longer take my anxiety medication. And so anxiety was huge for me. I probably wouldn't even be making this video right now if I was still super anxious, right? Not to say I don't have anxious moments. I've just learned how to manage them. I am also the founder of Brown Sisters Speak. We are a non-for-profit organization working to bring awareness to mental health issues affecting women of color. And so I was inspired to do this work and to get into this field because when my daughter was 2 weeks old, I went into postpartum psychosis and I wanted to die. I had a plan. I was going to kill myself. And so if I had not had called this one person, my one angel, I would be dead right now. I probably would not be alive. So we went to the hospital. I was asked to go spend 7 days in a mental health institution. And that began my journey into really finding out more about mental health, the field, and who I was as a person. And so when I got released, I had to make a wellness recovery action plan. And so within that plan, I had to think of things that I could do that would help me feel well if I felt that I was suicidal or depressed or anxious. And so part of my plan was to create a space, a safe space for women of color to feel comfortable to openly talk about their mental health issues. And so 3 years later, here we are. I'm out talking about my mental health issues, and I have my non-for-profit, Brown Sisters Speak, and we're going to create that same space and education for women of color. But we can go back and talk more about my depression, that things that were rooted when I was a child, that my parents noticed, that my friends noticed over the years, that could actually confirm that there was some sort of mood disorder, anxious behavior. But you know what? Right now in the present, I'm thriving even with these mental health diagnoses or conditions, as I like to call them. So anyway, it's taken me 3 years. I've written 2 books. One book is called Black, Beautiful, and Bipolar, where I share my journey of recovery and found the roots of my issues. And then my other book, I just came out with in April, and it's called Your Heart Can Heal, and there were heart healed lessons I learned recovering emotional abuse. So I'm really hoping to just make an impact on somebody, just one person. And I tell this to women often, if I can impact one person, that's one more life, one more angel that's walking this earth with us, right? Okay, so let me get on topic. Let me talk a little bit about self-advocacy. I received some training from Parent Voices of California, learned about being an advocate for families with children with special needs, and I've tied that experience into being an advocate for women of color affecting mental health issues. And so what I do is I look at what's going on in the political arena, look what's going on in the communities, and I find gaps I see the gaps, and then I go advocate. I go and make sure that communities get what they need, specifically women of color, when it comes to mental health. And so there's a lot of policy that needs to change for people of color. There are a lot of policies that need to change for everyone living and dealing with mental health awareness and mental health issues. So let's just talk about what self-advocacy is. And so self-advocacy is learning to speak up for yourself, make decisions for your life, and get information so you can make sure that things are in your best interest. It's also important because you want to know your rights and responsibilities, and how to reach out to others for help and be self-determined. And so it's so important to practice self-advocacy because it helps you understand the decisions that are being made in your life and how you can use your voice to bring awareness to those issues. So if you are interested in being an advocate, anybody can do it. Community organizer, advocate, anyone who sees a need and goes and tries to fill in that gap, you're an advocate. You're an advocate every day of your life, you know? So the best way to be an advocate is to practice. And here's some things you should probably think about. So here are my 6 points. You want to define your need, know what your rights are, know your responsibility, know the systems and procedures, know your resources, and keep good records. And so, for example, if I wanted to, if there was a law that anyone who was a single parent who was diagnosed with a mental health disorder had to be monitored by the government, I would really ask, does this really need to happen? What are the rules about this? What do I have to do? What are the steps in the process? Who can help me? Who makes this decision? And how do I get this all in writing? So do single parents with mental health issues really need to be monitored by the federal government? No. I would go look at the rules. I would go see why they think that this rule should be made, but I would know my right. I would learn my rights as a single parent of children with a mental health condition. I would know my rights. I would think about my responsibilities. Well, what can I do to change this? I would find some resources, find other people in my community who can help me attack this law attack this. It's not even law, it's legislation. Sorry, I'm a little tired. Before it gets signed into law, and how do I get a record of what's going on? Like the whole process of me advocating against the proposed law. So it's really important that you are able to define the issue and then find out your rights and responsibilities around the issues, know the system and the procedures for speaking against this issue, know your resources. It's great to be a self-advocate, it's great to be on your own, but you want to be connected. So you want to find other people in the community who are fighting for the same issue. So for example, the law that I just made up about the single parents needed to be monitored by the federal government, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't be the only one speaking up against that law, but you'd never know until you ask the community, right? So if you're not connected, get on Facebook. Facebook, billions of people are using Facebook. I would get on Facebook and I would type in this law, like people against single parents being monitored with mental health issues, and I would find people against it. I would organize a meeting with us and say, what can we do to prevent this from passing? What can we do? And so most often, you start with your community organizers. You request a meeting with your city council members. You can request meetings with your local senator's office. Your capitals, the state capitals, they have meetings where they open it up to the general public to come in and speak. You can find out when those days are. You can go. I would go with my group and speak about the issue. But once you start putting yourself out there as an advocate, the work just starts to begin, because you'll have to organize, and then you'll have to go before the people. And, sometimes when you're in this work, like the first go round, the first time you go and really start bringing awareness of the issues, people aren't hearing you. And so that's why I say have a support system, have people with you, and then even on this journey of advocacy, I would also want something in writing. Like if I did meet Senator Dianne Feinstein from California, because we know we're talking about this law that I just made up. I would get something from her in writing saying she supports that this is not right, and she would give her reasonings. So there's so many ways to be an advocate, but you always want to have your 6 points. Define the need, define the rights, know your responsibilities, know the systems and procedures, know the resources, and keep good records, right? So more skills about self-advocacy. You want to be an active participant in the process. You want to clearly express what your needs are. You want to set goals for what you want to achieve, get information to make informed choices, always have another advocate with you when you go to meetings. If you feel that you're not being responded to, write a letter as an effective way to communicate. Keep a folder of everything. Keep a folder of who you talk to when you talk to them. Take notes when you attend meetings and document all your phone calls. And just anything that you agree with people, just always put it in writing. These are just some skills you probably want to have as a self-advocate. And something also important is that oftentimes we get into this work and it's really easy to burn out in this field. So you also want to make sure there is some form of self-care that you are practicing when you get into this work, because we are so passionate and we are so fighting. We're just fighting for the rights. And I don't want to even use the word fighting, but we are passionate people. Advocates are, and we are always trying to make sure that we are aware of, the people are aware of what's going on, And so I really hope you guys enjoyed my 6 tips for being an advocate. I'll go over them one more time. We have defining your needs, knowing your rights, knowing your responsibilities, knowing the systems and procedures, knowing your resources, and good record keeping. So those are 6 tips that I think will help you be a great advocate. And remember, every day of our lives, we're advocating for our children, we're advocating for our family members. There's never a day when we're not advocating for something. I really hope that this helps somebody. Feel free to reach out to me at Maisha T, at Maisha_T on Twitter, and also on Facebook. And if you need support and you're struggling with a mental health diagnosis, if you know someone who is going through a mental health emergency, just be sure to use the suicide support hotline and reach out to us at Brown Sisters Speak. In the meantime, in between time, you guys have a great night. Good night.